I had the pleasure of going to Edinburgh today for what I thought was an anti-Donald Trump protest, which actually turned out to be a Palestine, climate change, trans rights mega mix of left-wingers who turned out to be quite nasty. Here are some of the interesting placards on display from today. This one lady, who you'll see more of later in the show, was holding a sign calling Trump the C-word. Here's another one mentioning Trump's Scottish mother. Another called him Putin's useful idiot. One said he was a dictator, obviously. Another sign saying free Gaza. And this one at the end, it says, no fascist gas bag, whatever that means. There we go. And the day started off amicably with the C-word woman herself. I gently pushed back on her claims that Trump had wrecked America, and that's where it all started to go a bit wrong.
And that country has sunk.
It has
lost its place in the world,
because lots of people say
regain it.
Lots of people say their mojo's back. The stock market's at record highs. There's zero illegal immigration.
Should
we talk about illegal immigration, for example? He was voted in to stop the southern border situation last month.
He's tanking our economy. And you know that inflation has never been higher. All his promises, he has.
The stock market's at record highs.
Well, that's not what I care about.
Immigration,
Who are
GBNews.
you with? Oh, of course, of course, of course. No, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, you don't want to talk?
No, because how can you live with yourself as a human being?
Oh, why sorry, you don't need to shove me.
You are evil. You are evil.
Oh, I don't think
and everything that GB.
I don't think my mum would say that.
No. Oh, what would the children of Palestine say? I don't know how you can all be like frogs in boiling water.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay.
I think I'll leave you.
I'm not okay.
You're getting a little bit aggressive for my liking. I'm just here to have a chat with you.
What does GBNews support? It supports hatred and grievance.
Well, that's ironic, because you're the one being quite hateful here. You're being aggressive and hateful.
I'm not being hateful, but I am being very.
Oh, okay. Well, what have I done for me to say that?
Because it's just how you're coming over.
All right, I'm just asking questions.
On the screen.
What have I done particularly for me to say that?
Well,
can you give an example?
It's your smirking. It's your smirking, eh?
My smirking?
Smirking, aye.
Okay, what expression would you like me to pull?
No, listen, I think you should just go a wee back down there and stay down there, right? Okay.
Right, okay. Right. Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, that's all.
Appreciate it.
Big arm.
That's very nice. I think you're a good guy, probably, deep down.
Really? How do you sleep at night?
Are you back here?
I would like to know how you sleep at night.
There was a swear word that sneaked through the gap there, so apologies if you were offended by that. Anyway, I moved away from that lady and spoke to other people at the event. This woman spoke about white people taking her rights away. Sorry, say that again. What's been taken from white people?
No, not rights from white people. You're taking everyone's rights away but white people.
Oh, right. Well, you're white.
And I accept my privilege. But I'm still a marginalised person.
What are they doing to take away everybody's rights apart from white people?
Well, they're taking my rights away as a non-binary person. They don't accept that I exist.
Who's they, sorry?
The right wing.
If that wasn't interesting enough, my new friend then found me again for another barrage, round 2, and it got a little bit weird when she started talking about my children being raped.
Trump wouldn't bat an eye at raping your kids if you actually have them. And you're here in support of that.
There's obviously his environmental concentration camps. In the USA in 2025.
So the only life that matters to you is your own.
Detained with no access to
I care about yours.
No access
you
to
don't.
healthcare.
I love you.
One meal a day and it's bread full of maggots.
I think you're a good person.
We're seeing people snatched from the streets. We're seeing people
Get your dick out of my face. And how you think that ends well? Did you know history? I bet you haven't taken a history course in your life.
Trans people of a different race.
Have you? Have you ever taken a history course? Have you ever taken a history course?
No access.
Any concept of history at all?
Any attempts to meet
What was your history course?
Is nothing short of appeasement.
Later on, the crowd chanted, "Death, death to the IDF," the same chant that got Glastonbury performers Bob Vylan arrested. Another woman was all too happy to repeat that phrase on camera. You said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Get that on camera, Alan. Say that again?
Death.idf.
Oh, great.
It's entirely clear that
Police Scotland would enjoy that. We'll send it to them later.
Great, thanks.
I suspect you'll get a knock on the door, but maybe. And off camera, I asked the police whether they'd been making any arrests for that. They said that they were looking at it, but then this guy came and told me the demonstration was peaceful.
Peaceful demonstration.
So
there's no invited violence.
It's not peaceful chanting for death to the IDF.
Death to the IDF. When you say death to the Arabs, what do you say, sir?
No, sir, the crowd here was chanting death to the IDF. That's not very peaceful, is it?
It is peaceful.
So
Death to the IDF is peaceful.
Is an American Israeli concept.
Yeah, it's very peaceful. Apparently calling for death of IDF soldiers, most Israelis, by the way, because they have national conscription, is peaceful. Later on, one of the organisers clocks that I was in the crowd asking questions, and she rallied the protesters to turn on me.
Will we stand for it? No! Will we allow innocent protesters to be arrested? No! Not happening, Ben. Go back to GBNews. Go report that all of us, whether we are Muslim, Christian, humanist, Jew, whatever, we will all be arrested for standing up and speaking up and standing up on the right side of history.
The journalist's name is Ben Leo from GBNews.
Do you like working for these guys? Do you like working for these guys? That's good.
With the 1,000-strong crowd now getting a little bit too aggy for my liking, the crew and I went back home to leave to the airport to London, but not before one last skirmish with the locals. That seems to be it from me at this alleged Trump protest, which turned into a climate protest, a Palestine protest, trans protest. Oh, there's some swearing going on in the background here. It's interesting, though, because they preach about tolerance and being kind and people being hateful, when the actual truth is, from my own experience, they project that very thing onto you. There's so much aggression, so much hate, as you'll see from the clips tonight. This guy here shouting in the background.
There's no hate. It's love and peace for humanity and for the rights of Palestinian people. No hate whatsoever.
Yeah.
An objection, certainly, to the genocide.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Big difference.
Hello, sir. Would you like a quick chat?
Not really, not with the likes of you.
Well, you're shouting. You're shouting expletives in the background.
Yes, I know. Well, no, they weren't really expletives.
Well, you call it.
Yeah, well, you are a bit of a. You know.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not. There we go. See, this is what I mean. They talk about.
Do you know the reason why I say that? Right, is because you are a fascist, you are a racist, and that's all you can talk. You've come here.
What have I said that's racist?
No,
though?
you are. You're exploiting absolute.
Well, let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation.
No, you're talking.
So what have I done that's racist? And also the censorship. So why do you do that? Why do you try and censor debate and open discussion?
You would know about that, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm here trying to have a conversation with you guys, but you're covering cameras.
Have a conversation.
So, where's he gone? What have I said that's racist?
What were you just saying there?
What did I say?
What were you just saying there? You were talking about that this demonstration is supposed to be peaceful.
Yeah.
Was it not peaceful?
Well, there was a chant of death to the IDF, which Police Scotland are looking into now. Somebody else was calling it. Somebody else said that I deserved to have a smack.
You.
Yeah, well, that's not very peaceful, is it?
No.
Oh, so you just contradicted yourself.
No, but what's happening in Palestine is not really good either.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private internet access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
OK, well, I'm joined now by one of the journalists covering the protests up in Edinburgh today. She was a friendly face amongst a crowd of hatred, Sophie Ellsworth, who is the Europe correspondent for News Corp Australia. Sophie, thank you for joining me. You were in the crowd, happened to be next to me doing your own work for News Corp Australia, Sky News Australia at the time. What did you make of the crowd generally, the atmosphere, and also the way they were treating some sects of the media?
Look, great to be with you, Ben. As you said, I was there today, saw you there being attacked by these protesters. I thought it was meant to be a peaceful protest, but it turned pretty ugly there for several moments, and you've just shone the light on some of them. Some of the language used was pretty disgraceful. And then the chants, death, death to the IDF, that were repeated by one of the women who was speaking at the event. She was whipping up the crowd, and the crowd were repeating those shocking chants. Now, I too went to Police Scotland today and asked if there's been any arrests or any action over those chants, and there hasn't been, Ben. So make of that what you will. But I think the thing from today was that it was meant to be peaceful. The organisers said to me that it was peaceful, but those examples there show that it was pretty aggressive at times. And then when they singled you out, Ben, that could have turned very ugly very quickly. And thank goodness it didn't. So I think they do themselves a disservice when they're trying to have these protests.
Yeah, do you think there's a level of hypocrisy there where these... I don't want to just tarnish all left-wingers with the same brush, but generally I find when you go to these protests, they accuse people of being whatever buzzword you want, racist, a bigot, whatever, full of hate, as that one woman said. But do you agree that it's actually them who are the hateful people? They're so toxic, they can't have open debates. I asked only 1 or 2 questions at the protest today before everybody clocked that I was from GB News, and instead of giving me a chance to have a discussion with them and a genuine debate, all we had was abuse.
Well, Ben, really, they were just promoting GB News. They were all chanting GB News. I mean, it was just silly, really, for them to do that. They really shouldn't be attacking you, the journalists. They should be attacking the debate and having a robust discussion. There were obviously tensions running high there, Ben. There's people who are very concerned what is happening in Gaza at the moment, but that warrants having a reasonable discussion and not turning it into just throwing obscenities and abuse at people. And that's unfortunately, Ben, what we saw happen today. And you conducted yourself well there, asking them questions, but they got very aggressive. And even one man was pushing me to the side. I told him not to do that. And next thing he was pushing, saying to someone else, don't push me. So it got unnecessarily ugly. They don't need to do that, Ben.
Yeah, and so, Sophie, thank you so much. The irony is that nobody knows my views on Israel-Gaza. They just assumed it. I've got, like most normal people, concerns about the situation in Gaza. You know, I don't believe there's a genocide, but I do have grave concerns, and I think there are questions to be answered. But they didn't even bother to ask me. They just assume and abuse. Sophie, thank you so much. It was great to meet you today. And as I said, it was nice to have 1 or 2 friendly faces in the crowd, including you. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Sophie. Sophie Ellsworth, the Europe correspondent for News Corp Australia and Sky News Australia. Right, let's get the thoughts of my panel. Former Labour Special Advisor Paul Richards, journalist and broadcaster Linda Jubilee, and the former Scotland Yard detective Peter Blexley. Hello, panel.
Hi.
Am I glad to be with you in the safety of the studio. Peter, let's start with you. What do you make of all that?
Now, I know the weather in Scotland is generally speaking a bit cooler than it is down here, down south, but why do so many people need scarves in July? Astonishing.
Cover their faces.
Exactly. And the second thing is, I've no idea how much you get paid, but it's not enough, Ben. Right? It was terrific. You just see how unhinged and I think unwell some of those people are. And I don't say that flippantly.
No, I agree.
mean, some of the venom that was spewed in your direction comes from, I would suggest, rather troubled minds.
Yeah, and as you said, you don't say that flippantly, and nor do I. I don't joke about that. I genuinely think a lot of those people, there's something not quite right upstairs. Linda, what's your take?
Well, I mean, I must say, I've been on this merry-go-round for some time now, and I've been accused of working for Eddie Shah and taking the Shah shilling. I've been accused of working at the Mail on Sunday, which later became a newspaper of the year. Then I went to Sky to work for the Dirty Digger, and after that I went to Fox News.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, I've heard this and seen it, worn the T-shirt, read the book, seen the film. Everything like this has happened before. But what never fails to amaze me is they never really launch into any kind of proper rational discussion about what's actually going on in Gaza. And actually, this week, things have reached such a dreadful situation that one of the things they should have been talking about was the geopolitical situation there and the death of thousands and thousands of women and babies.
Yeah. No, indeed. And the C-word lady, I'll call her, I was discussing with her. She was saying, you know, Trump is responsible for starving Gazans. And I said, well, the US went to Doha this week and Steve Witkoff had to leave the discussions because Hamas wouldn't negotiate an extended ceasefire. So I said, I think the US have tried to sort something out. Paul, your take?
There's so much to unpack here. I mean, these people claim to want a state of Palestine, and I think the two-state solution is the only way forward, the only way we're going to get any kind of resolution to this in that part of the world. But they stand as the main obstacle to the very thing they say they want, because they are siding with some of the most extremist elements. They're wearing the keffiyeh, the Palestinian scarf, you know, in the middle of the in Britain. I mean, it's just a sort of cosplay. It's like dressing up. You know, and this was supposed to be about Donald Trump, wasn't it? I mean, and it turned into something
Trump wasn't mentioned.
I mean, I have a keffiyeh, by the way. It was presented to me by the leadership of the PLO in Ramallah, in the West Bank. And it's
PLO, Palestinian
Liberation Organisation. It sits in a drawer, and I don't get it out and wear it when I go down shopping in Eastbourne High Street. But there are people that dress up like this, and it's become a sort of lifestyle, you know, accoutrement that they wear as a sort of uniform. And it's... as you saw, it's a cocktail of cranks, really, that are now turning up to these demos, and they're nothing to do.
That's an insult to people who actually do want to properly protest and actually get their point across.
I find the psychology of it as well, Peter, quite interesting, because there's this consensus that the left think the right are... I don't think I'm particularly right-wing, I'm maybe right of centre. The left think the right are inherently evil. They actually think they're sort of spawn of Satan, whereas the right just think the left have different ideas, sometimes silly. And that's the vast difference, I think.
But the rabble of people that you interviewed and had abuse from today, none of them are presenting rational points of view, discussion points, or entering any kind of sensible, mature, thoughtful debate. They are off their trolleys.
But the irony is exactly as you described, that they genuinely believe they are the good guys. You talk about the side of history and all of this. They think they have the moral high ground, where they absolutely don't.
It's just a tight echo chamber where they just reinforce these views all the time, and it's gone on week after week, month after month. I think it's very damaging, actually.
Sorry to talk over you, but it's in every high street as well. It's in the town centres. It's not just flashpoints like this. It's been most town centres most weeks for 2 years.
And just finally, on a serious note, there was chants of death to the IDF, which Bob Villan performers at Glastonbury were arrested for. Sophie just said then that Police Scotland haven't made any arrests yet. Any thoughts on that? Should they be making arrests, Peter?
I think we've seen a number of people detained as a result of the Glastonbury fiasco. I'm not sure yet that anybody has been charged in relation to that specific chant. I suspect it's probably sitting on the desk of somebody at the CPS who's scratching their head and deciding which way do we go from here.